Emery. It looks like Councilman Quirk is having a hard time getting in as a panelist.
Okay, so let me send him the link.
No, he's in, Emery. Just you have to promote him from attendee.
Okay, let me see if there's anyone else, any of the other panelists that we're waiting for, and we'll get started in just a minute.
So the councilman is on the panelist.
Yes, I think he shows up now. Do we know about Councilman Jones?
I haven't heard from him, but we
Okay.
sent him the link.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm in. Thanks, guys.
All right, I think that was Councilman Quirk. All right, so I think we will go ahead and get started. Okay. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Amy Mante, Deputy Director for the Baltimore County Department of Planning and also the Master Plan 2030 Coordinator. This is the first of 3 Master Plan kickoff meetings this week. The meeting tonight's focused on County Council Districts 1 and 4. Tomorrow night's meeting will be focused on County Council's Districts 2 and 3. And then our final kickoff meeting on Wednesday night will focus on Districts 5, 6, and 7. The agenda tonight will start with an introduction of attendees and then go through a presentation on the themes, goals, and the master plan process. I'll also provide an overview of our engagement strategy. Following that, I'll touch on what we've heard from the community so far, and then we'll ask for input from those who are attending tonight. I would also like to note that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on Baltimore County's YouTube channel. If you can't stay for the entire meeting tonight, or you want to go back and rewatch the meeting later, it will be posted online. Please note that due to the anticipated number of attendees at the meeting tonight, everyone will be kept on mute throughout the presentation. We ask for comments toward the end of the evening and will provide instructions for doing so through the chat feature for those attending through both WebEx and YouTube. Moving forward, we anticipate holding smaller group meetings, which will allow attendees the opportunity to speak and participate in discussions. Next, I would like to introduce Steve Lafferty, Director of the Department of Planning, who will provide his thoughts on the master plan and introduce our panelists.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. Let me echo Amy's welcoming to everybody who's joined us tonight. It's very exciting to get started with our master plan effort, and on behalf of County Executive Olszewski, I welcome you and glad that you've chosen to be part of this evening and part of the master planning process. By this process, we hope to create a foundation for a more equitable and sustainable Baltimore County. The master plan is an aspirational document, but it also has to be realistic and also practical so that we see things implemented that are going to benefit the communities and residents of our county. It's really about the county's future and our pathway for achieving successes and outcomes that we all want to see. And that's why your participation is so very important. We can only be successful by having extensive community engagement, and that means all parts of the county and all members of the county to the extent they can. In order for us to be really fair and equitable, we must make sure that everybody has the opportunity to play a role in setting what the future looks like. And since this is only our first meeting, I hope you'll encourage your friends, family, and colleagues to participate in the coming months. And as you'll see, as Amy unfolds the schedule, there'll be many opportunities for people to participate, and that's critical to our success here. I'm also very pleased to thank Amy for the work that she's done in getting us to this part and to be part of this effort. I want to acknowledge the active support of so many of our planning department staff who are with us this evening to make sure this goes well. In addition to Amy, we have Ann Roan, Jennifer Nugent, Taylor Bentley, Megan Benjamin, Emery Huang, Gane Job, and also Josephine Sabakamar. I thank all of you for being part of this and stepping outside of your lanes to make sure we all succeed. We're also very fortunate to have County Councilman Tom Quirk with us this evening. Councilman, if you want to offer a few words, please do. Is he unmuted?
Let's see, I don't see him on.
Looks like he was disconnected somehow.
Oh, all right. Is Councilman Jones with us this evening?
No.
Okay.
He's trying to log in.
Okay,
is he?
very good. Well, hopefully we can have an opportunity for both of them to say a few words on behalf of themselves and their constituents. We're also very fortunate in this process. There's Councilman Quirk, he's now here. Councilman, do you want to offer a few words for us? But he's having trouble speaking. Can someone unmute him? Oh, he's not a panelist. The vagaries of technology. What Amy didn't say at the beginning is that this is our first attempt to do something of this scale virtually. As you know, we almost always are engaging people in person on community planning and other efforts. And so this is sort of a challenge for us. So please be patient, please. We're also joined this evening by members of the Baltimore County Planning Board. I believe we have with us tonight Todd Warren from District 1, Kathy Wolfson from District 4, and the Planning Board Chair, Nancy Hafford. Lastly, we have a number of county agencies who are represented this evening. And I'll just introduce the agencies so you can see this list. But tonight we have members from the Environmental Protection and Sustainability Office, the Office of Sustainability in the County Executive's Office, the Office of Community Engagement, who are partners in this effort, Property Management, Department of Public Works and Transportation, and also Health and Human Services, who will all be active partners with us as we move forward. So, not seeing that the councilman is able to get in, I'll turn this back over to Amy.
All right. So while we can't see all the attendees here tonight, we would like to get a sense of who is joining us. It looks like we have at this point about 59 or 60 people in the audience. There's a short poll that will appear in the chat, and it seems that we're having some screen difficulties, at least on my end. I don't know if Emery's having trouble pulling. There it is. We'll take 2 minutes to give everyone a chance to let us know which Baltimore County Council district they reside in. This information will help us understand both who is here, but more importantly, who isn't here, and how we may need to further expand our outreach. If you're watching via YouTube, you can just put Council District 1 or Council District 4 in the comment feature, and we'll still collect that information. But if you look over to your right in the polling, there's a 2-minute limit here. So if you can just go over and click, if you know which council district you live in, District 1 with Councilman Quirk's district, or District 4 with Councilman Jones, or if you're just unsure, you can click that as well. So we can kind of get a sense of who's out there. It does put us at a disadvantage to not know exactly who all is attending. We're used to seeing your faces. All right, we have about 30 seconds left. All right, Emery, are we able to see the poll results? Okay, so it looks like we have at least folks who took the poll on WebEx. We've got about 12 people from District 1, 10 people from District 4, and we'll catch up with the folks on YouTube. One of the things that we will do after these meetings is to provide a small little report as to what we've heard and who was here and that type of thing. So thank you to everyone who participated with that, and also giving us a chance to test run a little feature in WebEx that we'd like to use in the future, maybe a little bit more efficiently, but thank you for being patient with us. All right, so with that, let's just go ahead and get started with the presentation. We're going to open the presentation tonight with a short video that highlights why your input is so important to the process. All right, thank you, Emery. All right. As the video touched on, Master Plan 2030 will have 3 overarching themes, which will be woven like threads throughout every element of the master plan. The first of these is equity. Looking forward, the master plan will provide the framework to ensure that we live up to our future potential, making Baltimore County the best it can be, starting by making sure that we're being inclusive in our decision making, ensuring equitable distribution of our resources, and creating opportunity for all. The second thread is sustainability, ensuring the long-term sustainability of our infrastructure, as well as safeguarding our county's ecology and climate. And the third thread is vibrant communities, ensuring that all residents have access to high-quality, affordable, and accessible housing, along with access to cultural and recreational opportunities and safe communities, while promoting responsible economic development. With these three principles in mind, we'll use data and community input to develop policies and define actions in the plan. We also plan to incorporate best practices following the American Planning Association's Principles for Sustainable Places. The master plan is an opportunity for a creative range of possibilities for updating out-of-date policies and actions too. We want to make sure that we include clear implementation guidelines related to the policies in the plan. As with all previous master plans, this plan will also cover a wide range of topics or elements. All of these elements are tied to the physical development of the county through land use. The plan also looks at ways to enhance regional coordination, incorporate adopted community plans, and as I mentioned earlier, outline implementation for policies and actions in the master plan. There are other county plans that influence or are referenced in the master plan. Some of these are specific agency plans like the Bike and Pedestrian Plan, the Hazard Mitigation Plan, and the Age-Friendly Baltimore County Plan, just as an example. The Baltimore County Strategic Plan, which provides a framework to guide the county's internal operations, has also been included, and many of the goals of the strategic plan are similar to the themes we mentioned at the start of this presentation. One of the most important roles that the master plan plays is in its connection to the implementation of the county's capital improvement program. The CIP is a 6-year plan for implementing public projects and infrastructure improvements. The Planning Board, which is managed by the Department of Planning, reviews capital improvement program projects and forwards its recommendation to the county's Office of Budget and Finance. This is one of the reasons we felt it was very important to include Planning Board members in this process to develop the plan. Our efforts to streamline and modernize Master Plan 2030 are focused in 2 areas. First, to develop this plan as a living document, a document that will be available online and therefore easily searchable. We also have the ability to include performance measures that can be monitored and updated over the next 10 years. We also want to simplify where we can land use designations and related strategies. For Master Plan 2030, the county has also retained a consultant to explore and analyze commercial trends. The consultant will provide retail, office, and service and manufacturing trends nationally and their impact on Baltimore County. Establish economic buying power for Baltimore County in various submarkets. Determine whether the economic buying power of Baltimore County is being spent inside or outside of our county, and how that translates into short-term and long-term demands for land needed to accommodate retaining and attracting businesses. The consultant will also provide a final report in an online interactive platform later this summer, which will be available on the Master Plan website. The timeline for the Master Plan is also available on our website and is updated periodically. For the foreseeable future, we anticipate continuing our engagement virtually, and sometimes the timeline may need to be adjusted to allow for additional engagement opportunities. Through the summer and fall this year, we will be focused on getting input from the community. In the winter and spring of 2022, we plan to be in the phase of developing the draft and then the plan. As we move through outreach and engagement in the coming months, we are planning opportunities for both general sharing of information, which is where we are tonight, to more focused engagement. This first phase is really about getting information both to you and from you by getting big ideas and visions for the county in the next 10 years. In the coming months, we'll move to smaller focused meetings by topic or stakeholder groups and start to prioritize goals. Then, even if we're still operating virtually, we'll hold workshops to help us refine goals and to develop draft policies with your input. We've established master plan teams for each district to help manage our engagement and outreach efforts through this process. The county is a large place, and we want to make sure that we are reaching everyone. We will be working closely with our partners in the Office of Community Engagement and also the Planning Board members. If you haven't already, please be sure to go to the master plan website and click the join button. This allows you to get email updates about the process and notifications about upcoming meetings and events. As you explore the website, you will find details about the process, as well as background data and information that we'll be posting along the way. There's a calendar at the bottom of the main page that will provide information and links to upcoming meetings. From time to time, we'll also post surveys. Currently, there are 2 surveys that are live on the site. One survey is a short survey with a few questions asking about your connection to the county. This survey will help us understand who we're reaching with our outreach efforts, as well as where we may need to reach out more. Currently, there is what we call a visions and values survey that will be posted through May 28th. This survey has 4 questions asking for ideas about moving the county forward over the next 10 years. As of this morning, we've had 318 people join the website and 164 people have participated in the Value and Vision survey. In a few minutes, we'll talk about what we've heard so far from that survey, but first, I would like to allow the lead planners for the Council District 1 and Council District 4 master plan teams to introduce themselves and talk about what we've been reviewing to prepare for Master Plan 2030.
Thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? I do see some messages in the chat box. They didn't hear the video, but they are able to hear you. So before I talk, I want to make sure you all hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good evening. This is Josephine Selvakumar. I am the District 1 area planner. Before I get into the District 1, let me also introduce the Master Plan District 1 team. As the area planner, I'll be the District 1 team lead, and then let's give shout out to Mandy Rammel from Office of Community Engagement and our awesome planning board member, Mr. Todd Warren. As you all know, the preparation for Master Plan 2030 is looking back not only at Master Plan 2020, but also previously adopted community plans to see where county-wide themes have emerged. So you can see here the District 1 community plans, the Patapsco Heritage Management Plan, Patapsco Park and Open Space Concept Plan, the Catonsville Plan, the Patapsco Granite Area Community Plan, the Woodlawn Community Plan, and the recent effort which the department has been working with the Arbutus area is the Arbutus Sustainable Community Area Plan. We had series of community engagement through the hub, which Amy and Steve just talked about the master plan hub. It all started with the Arbutus hub. So District 1 crew should be a little bit familiar with the hub, and it is due to the state soon. It's in a couple of days, and we engage the community through the hub and the virtual community engagement process. So as the District 1 is hearing about the District 1 master plan team, I know District 4 is anxious to know about your District 4 planner. So let me turn it to Jenny to talk about the District 4.
Thank you, Josephine. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ngone Job. I am the team lead for Master Plan District 4. I am very excited and happy to welcome you in this kickoff event for the 2030 Master Plan. So I want to take this opportunity to announce members that are going to be part of the team, the District 4 team. It will be Kirk Mitchell, 4th District Coordinator from the Office of Community Engagement, and also Kathy Wolfson, 4th District Planning Board member. I know Kathy is part of the attendees. She did just type a comment saying that she wasn't able to join as a panelist, but she's part of the attendees. So as we look into the next 10 years, we not only look back at Master Plan 2020, but we also reviewed past adopted community plans to determine county-wide terms for Master Plan 2030. And for District 4, we reviewed the following plan: the Liberty Road Revitalization Plan, 1990 Action Plan Update, the Liberty West Community Plan, the Locan Forest Garden Haywood Heights Community Action Plan, Owings Mills Park and Open Space Concept Plan, Patapsco Granite Area Community Plan, the Pikesville, Maryland Revitalization Plan, and the Woodlawn Liberty Community Plan. So it's also important to mention recent and ongoing efforts in the 4th District. We recently renewed the Northwest Gateway Sustainable Community Area Plan, with the help of ideas and suggestions that we received during the Liberty Road study. So many of you were involved in that project, and it's just nice. We love it when ideas come to fruition. And we just finished drafting the Liberty Road Design Guidelines, one of the projects that was suggested by the community during the study. So the design guidelines draft will be introduced to Planning Board this Thursday. It's a public meeting and everyone is welcome to attend. Next, please. So planning for the next 10 years requires an understanding of how the county has grown and changed. So while the Master Plan 2030 is a new plan, we are looking back at Master Plan 2020, which was completed 10 years ago, to review population trends. So the graph, yeah, please. The graph on your screen shows how the population in Baltimore County has increased in the past 10 years. And this is important to know in order to identify the county's diversity and needs of all residents in Master Plan 2030. Next, please. So, and looking also at growth trends from the past 10 years also help identify ways to better build communities, create jobs and economic opportunity for all residents while improving the safety and the vitality of our county. The graph on your screen shows the number of development permits issued every year between 2010 and 2020. Community plans. I know this is a hot topic for many community groups. And as with the Master Plan 2020, all previously adopted community plans have been reviewed to identify countywide terms in all of them. These plans will be carried forward with the adoption of the Master Plan 2030. So at this time, I will turn it to Josephine, who will tell you what we've heard out of the people who have already taken the survey posted on the timeline, on the website.
Thank you, Gane. So as we kick off this Master Plan 2030 process, we are asking for you to share with us your big ideas and your vision for the county in the next 10 years. So we started gathering the information 2 weeks ago with first online survey, which was posted on the Hub. If you haven't taken already, don't worry about it. It will be on the website until May 28th. If you have already taken it, you will know what I'm talking about. So there were 4 questions, and I will quickly go over the questions and would like to highlight the few responses that we received so that you could all get to know what the responses are. So the first question in the survey was, as you look ahead to the next 10 years, what does a more equitable Baltimore County look like to you? And here are a few of the responses which we heard. Equitable access to natural resources, more housing opportunities spread more equally throughout the county, encourage more community businesses, more reliable public transit. Next, please. Here's the second question we asked. What would a more sustainable Baltimore County look like in the future? And this is what we heard. Encourage redevelopment, higher density housing with smaller footprints, infrastructure updates and improvements, including green infrastructure and land preservation. Next, please. And this is our third question. By 2030, how do you envision your community becoming more vibrant? And here are some of the highlighted responses. More cultural events and heritage tourism, more recreational facilities and open space, encourage cleanup and beautification efforts. Next, please. And this is our last survey question. What other thoughts would you like to share about Baltimore County's future? And here are some of our responses. Look at adjustments to the hurdle to readdress smart growth. Development regulations and zoning should reflect goals of the master plan. Restrict amount of new housing development. Encourage grocery stores along commercial corridors that have none. And address the deteriorating malls. So these are the surveys and responses which we heard so far. And with the kickoff, we would appreciate to get your feedback. So let me turn it to Kenny to ask the feedbacks and the questions.
Thank you, Josephine. So the purpose of this evening was to inform you about the master plan goals and process. But now we want to hear from you. We want you to inform us what ideas you have about the future of Baltimore County. So to do that, we have two questions we would like to ask you. And we ask you that you write your comment. If you are attending to the WebEx, you can send your comment using the chat box. The chat box is located at the bottom of the participant panel on the right of your screen. Just make sure that you include your first and your last name when typing your comments, and make sure that everyone is selected before you send your comment. So please do not send your comments to the host. Staff will read your comment and display it on the screen. And if you are on YouTube, you can include your first and your last name when you type your comment, and same thing, the staff will read your comment. Thank you. And the first question we have for you is, as you look ahead to the next 10 years, what could be improved or changed to make the county even better? I'm going to repeat it. As you look ahead to the next 10 years, what could be improved or changed to make the county even better? So please, you can type your comment in the chat box.
Looks like we're starting to get a few. A lot. All right. So I'll go through and start to read some of these for Emery, and he can kind of type them on the screen. We'll try to capture as many of these as we can. And what we don't capture on the screen tonight, we obviously can capture in the chat here in WebEx, as that's saved and recorded, and also over in YouTube. We have Taylor over on the YouTube side of things who's going to be emailing me the comments from over there. So I'll just start to read from the chat here, and then if Megan wants to follow with emails on things I'm missing, you could do that. So it looks like we've got a few comments already about improvements to the Security Mall and Woodlawn area. I'll give Emery a second to catch up. Investment in sustainable businesses beyond pop-up businesses and liquor stores. Services and jobs. To look at every decision through an equity lens. Improve transit connections to employment centers. Improvements on seating and trash collection along public transportation corridors. Address abandoned commercial buildings. Focus on reinvestment, protection of open spaces, main streets, and housing. A green sustainable plan countywide. Amenities near universities. Transportation alternatives. Improvements to Liberty Road corridor in Randallstown. Land for public schools. And I'll give you one more because I know you're running out of room. Like I said, we'll capture all of these and you know, post online about them after the meeting, but we just wanted to kind of make everyone aware of what everyone else was kind of throwing out there. The enforcement on vacant and abandoned homes. And transit-oriented development. Okay, so with that, we will move to the next question.
Amy, before we do that, both council members are now been able to join us. Could we
Okay.
just take a moment to give Councilman Quirk and Councilman Jones just a moment to say hello?
Oh, sure.
And if Chairman Jones is on, I'll let him go first since he's our chair. Chairman Jones, are you on? He's been on and off, and we've been texting back and forth, so hopefully he'll jump back on. Well, I'll just be very brief. First of all, thank you, Director Lafferty. I really appreciate you pulling this all together. And of course, on District 1 team, I know we have Mandy and we have Josephine, and I see my planning board member, Todd Warren, as well. But I do want to just thank all the people in attendance, you know, the feedback and the comments. You know, I'm reading them and listening. I see my friend Klaus Phillipson talking about Security Square Mall, and we definitely agree on that's a great place to do redevelopment, and it's a great place to have a town center. We definitely all agree on that. And just I wanted to say thank you for pulling this together. Master plan is super important, and really trying to shape and develop this county, looking over the next 10 years, is a great effort and something we need to do. So thank you all for attending. I see Chairman Jones is back on, and I appreciate our partnership. Chairman Jones and I work very closely together and work a lot hand in hand, especially in areas that really overlap, which is a lot of our areas. So appreciate that, and I'll yield the rest of the time to Chairman Jones. Thank you, Director Lafferty.
Thank you, Councilman Quirk, and thank you, Director Lafferty. And I want to thank you for your staff. Councilman Quirk said it best. He and I work extremely well together on a lot of issues that affect both of our communities, especially areas where the lines butt up against each other. I think the master plan is extremely important, and I want to thank all the participants who came out to hear about it, to kick off this process that's going to help guide Baltimore County and what we do and how we do it in terms of the next 10 years. And I appreciate the fact that we want to make it like a living document, one that will, move as we move, so to speak. So I look forward to the participation of all the members in the community. I look forward to all the work that, Gone will do. She's been doing a wonderful job, her as well as Kurt. And of course, Kathy, my planning board member. So I've seen what we've done with the Liberty Road design study, which is not 100% done yet. And I look forward to this process. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Councilman. Turn it back over to you now, I guess, Gane.
Thank you. So many great ideas. So the second question we have for you, what other thoughts would you like to share about Baltimore County's future? What other thoughts would you like to share about Baltimore County's future? Again, type your comments in the chat box and make sure that you select everyone. If you are on YouTube, please type your name and your last name as part of your comment. Thank you.
Looks like we have a new one. Emery, if you're ready. Let's see. So we have one. I'm not sure if it was from the last question or not, but I'll read it anyway. Stormwater management fee incentive for commercial corridors. That's all one. Crime prevention. Assemblage for projects, for redevelopment projects. Assemblage. Reviewing the open space bank. And the benefits. Simpler development regulations. More parks. Bike and pedestrian connections to institutions. Sustainable businesses and employment. Addressing climate change. more youth outreach and programs, vacant commercial properties reused for housing, let's see, there's a CZMP related comment about testifying at CZMP hearings. Disclosing connections to developers. Additional middle school in District 4. Expand Wi-Fi in county parks. Do we have any? I try to hit as many of them as I could there. I don't see any comments from the YouTube side. Protection for farmland. More charging stations for electric vehicles. Owings Mills Community Center / Senior Center. And I think we have room on the screen for one more. Incentives for green living and vehicles. All right, I'll give Emery a chance to get caught up there. As you know, as we said, we can capture all the comments that have come in tonight via the chat. So we'll provide a more comprehensive look at those after the meeting on the website. I don't see any other comments or questions at this time. If you do have questions, you can always reach out to us through the master plan website, as we've mentioned. Let Emery get caught up. You can go to the next slide. I want to thank Emery and Taylor and Megan, who are in the background, trying to make sure that we capture everyone's comments across both platforms. And Emery for typing as fast as he possibly can. You can go to the next slide. And as I mentioned, we want everyone to visit the master plan website, both the baltimorecounty.md.gov/masterplan2030. You can also email any questions or comments that you have to the master plan email account, masterplan@baltimorecounty.md.gov. You can also go to, while you're at the website, be sure you fill out the survey that's going to be open through May 28th. And that's all that I have for tonight. I don't know if Steve has anything that he wants to add on it here at the end.
Amy, I guess just a couple of comments. First of all, once again, thanks to all the staff and agency representatives who have joined us, and greatly appreciate the fact that Councilman Quirk and Councilman Jones found time to be part of this evening. So I'm sure they were taking notes as quickly as all of us were. I think the comments, just the range of comments showed, again, the diversity and wide-ranging interests that members of the county community have, which is why it is so important to have these multiple town hall meetings, and while we'll be breaking into smaller groups as we go forward. The creativity of some of these suggestions, I think, also speaks well about looking to the future that we hope we can capture through all these different, both through YouTube and WebEx. But once again, totally appreciate the fact that we had such an engagement tonight and that so many people were able to take some time. So just want to thank them. And once again, Amy, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, well, that's all that we have for this evening. We thank everyone who attended tonight, and this meeting will be available on the county's YouTube channel as well. We'll provide a link to it on the website as we move forward. And like I said, just make sure that you sign up, you check the calendar so you know when there are meetings coming up, and then just be in touch with us if you have any questions. And that's it.
Amy, if I could just say one thing, I want to thank you guys all for your efforts. And you can also reach out to me. I'm the first district representative, and I'm sure Kathy, I don't want to speak for her, but you can reach out to her too with any questions.
All right, thank you. That was Todd Warren, who is the first district planning board member. And Kathy Wolfson agreed with those statements. All right, well, thank you very much. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
And Gane, I want to talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Emery, you make sure you capture those comments in the chat.
Great job, planning department.
Thank you, Nancy.
Are we done?
Yes.
Mañana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.